Heyo and welcome to Build and Beautify Season 2. In this Cities Skylines modded Let's Play, we'll build Eneida Bay, a vibrant city of our dreams featuring transit-oriented development, clean energy, and deep city detailing. In the last episode, we began new development starting with Phase 1, in which we built our transit-oriented community center, complete with parks, shopping, as well as our first residential suburbs. So if you happen to miss the last episode, then click on the info card above or check out the entire Build and Beautify Season 2 playlist located in the description below. In today's episode, we will respond to air pollution complaints by relocating the vehicle factory and recycling center further away in hopes to assist with the pollution. We will then continue to develop our new community with Phase 2 commercial and residential constructions. So are you enjoying building Eneida Bay? If so, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what features you'd build in your dream city. If you can't wait for the new season to unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to videos. Also, don't miss out on our Eneida Bay merchandise linked in the description below. Alrighty, so I'm wicked excited to start today's episode, so kick back, grab your caffeinated beverage of choice, and let's jump right on into it. Today, I want to start with relocating our trash and vehicle industry deeper into the old pier so that the air pollution has farther to travel to reach our new community. I am not entirely sure if this will solve the problem overall, since the airflow may still push the pollution in the direction of our new development. However, I am hoping it will. And I thought relocating would be a semi-realistic result of our last episode. I picture that the new residents of Eneida Bay were promised a beautiful transit-oriented community, park space, and residential abundance, and would be very upset to find out that everything they were promised was clouded in industrial smog. I can then see new residents protesting against the city's council's deception. As a result, I can then see the city council enticing the factory to move by explaining how a location closer to the subway station would be ideal for their current issue with employment demands. The factory needs these employees, and easy public transportation would not only make the residents of the new suburb happy, but also the factory. So now all that is left is to attempt to move these assets a little closer to the subway and the nuclear power station. I have not had the chance yet to really try to plan this out for a new relocation. So let's wing it and see how we may be able to address the concerns of our new residents while maybe even boosting the employment and the workability, I guess, for lack of better words, for the factory. Also, please stick around until the end of the video because later on we will be implementing even more changes when we begin tackling Phase 2 of our residential area in a less realistic manner. Okay, so I think for the time being, I am just going to move our recycling center and leave our vehicle factory up here. I'm mainly doing that because when I was looking at the air pollution, I noticed that the majority of everything that was sweeping this way into our new residential, I guess just new development site in general, it was coming here from the recycling center. There we go. The vehicle factory, for the most part, seems to be kind of seeping this way, just slightly, and up this way. So as long as the vehicle factory's air pollution doesn't go beyond the pier and into the Cyclops Head Township, we should be okay. But yeah, so new design, a little bit different. I'll probably fill in this area with some more industry and just industrial sites in general. I think we have some oil here, actually. Yeah, we have some oil here. So we could always do a little oil rig if we wanted. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, and for now we will work with this. Alrighty, now let's allow time to pass and continue working on our new suburb, starting with phase 2 of our community space development plan. I think in this area, I want to continue our pattern of a large shopping building by fusing multiple assets together using Anarchy and Plop the Growables. I'll also try to incorporate more park assets in, as I have noticed the modded area we created last episode is not honestly really providing any leisure activity. If you happen to know why, please let me know down in the comments, as I really want to abuse that mod and I'm really unsure if I'm just being a noob or if I'm misunderstanding something else. So let's come on into a relaxing time lapse and begin giving this area some low-rise commercial space, park assets, and a boatload, an absolute wicked boatload of walkability. Next, I want to delve into a bit of a beautifying the build time lapse here and go through with some of the surfaces, props, and the recolor mod a little bit more to try and give this area a bit of uniformity. So let's jump on into a beautifying the build time lapse next. Next, I would like to work on phase 2 of our housing development plan with a few edits from what I was attempting in phase 1. For starters, I am going to pay wicked close attention to the air pollution this time. And then second, I'm also going to try and incorporate our road builder mod once again because I am incredibly stubborn. And every time I try to integrate this mod, it gives me a little bit of hassle. And I think I might have found a way to win. So let's start with laying out our grid with the road tools, and then we'll reconvene and go over the road builder mod. Now let's jump into the road builder mod. A lot of what I'm attempting to do in this area is aesthetically place the buses in their own lanes in the center of the road. That way they aren't clogging up the streets and have their own path. Now, my first attempt ran into issues because the bus stops would snap to the side of the roads and thus made a really unrealistic pickup zone if the buses were stopping in the middle of the street. It would be unsafe for passengers to stand at a stop on the side of the road and then have to cross the street to get on the bus. So this time I'm basically going to make two roads, one which has a platform. Now I want to try and keep the platforms as narrow as possible, since it would be a bit unrealistic for me to have big bulky roads randomly throughout this suburb. But we will work with what the game provides us. Alright, now earlier I mentioned that I had redevelopment plans for phase 1 of our residential suburb. To put it simply, I plan on demolishing this and replacing it with cemeteries. We do need the cemetery coverage and the death care services in Eneida Bay, and while I don't think the air pollution will be bothering us here anymore, I just want to be prepared in case it does, and yes, cemeteries. So let's come on in and demolish all these lovely houses and fuse a few death care services together. I would like to at least wiggle in one cemetery and one crematorium, as I'm hoping to preserve the cemeteries once they have reached their max capacity. The crematorium will then act as the ongoing death care service when these cemeteries have been filled. Next, I'd like to provide phase two a little bit of foliage before we spam in a bunch of housing, and honestly, I call this the lazy method. Basically, I'm going to come through this area with the tree brush and paint a variety of trees. As we place the housing down, the trees will disappear. However, many will remain in the awkward spaces between the houses, allowing us an easier time to provide greenery and foliage to this area. I admittedly never know the best way to decorate a suburb, as honestly, I can't say I've really visited that many of them, and I've personally grew up in a densely wooded area. So let me know down in the comments, where do you draw your suburban inspiration from? Alright, finally, before we wrap up today's episode, let's come through and place in our suburbs. To make this a bit easier, I have actually created a bit of a saved favorites list for these housing assets that I want to prioritize over the next few episodes for our suburbs. So let's come on in and let's begin bringing residents back into this area, and let's be sure to provide them plenty of park spaces and just community spaces, I guess, throughout the suburbs so that they can walk a dog or maybe go to the playground and just get some fresh air that, isn't polluted. Alrighty everyone, I think that just about wraps up today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on today's build. If you are excited to see the next episode unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. And don't forget to check out our Eneida Bay merchandise linked in the description below. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.